Welcome to Introduction to Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet application. It is a spreadsheet application because it can capture, display, and manipulate data arranged in rows and columns. When you open an Excel file, the Excel file opens as a workbook. That is why you see that an untitled workbook is titled Book 1, Book 2, and so on and so forth, as much as the number of untitled workbooks you have on your computer. The workbook is made up of worksheets. By default, when you open an Excel document, it opens with Sheet 1, because the worksheet is the backbone of every spreadsheet application, because it is what collects the data. A spreadsheet application like Microsoft Excel can contain as many worksheets that the computer memory can allow. You can have several worksheets. The Excel worksheet is the largest area on the Excel screen. It is divided into rows and columns. In Microsoft Excel, a single worksheet contains 16,384 columns and 1,048,576 rows. The columns are labeled with alphabets A, B, C, D, up until XFD. The rows are labeled numerically from number 1, 2, 3, up until 1,048,576 rows. Since the worksheet is made up of columns and rows, the intersection between a column and a row is called a cell. Each cell in a worksheet can take up to 240 characters. The current default display is set at 9 characters. This is the default. Outside 9, you have to adjust the column to contain it. A powerful function of the worksheet in Microsoft Excel is backed by numerous commands, and these commands are attached to tabs on the Microsoft Excel ribbon. You have the Home tab, which is used for formatting of your entries, right from the clipboard that have function for copy, paste, and format, to the font group where you have to select your font type, the font size, bold, italics, underline, borders, fill color, and text color or font color, or whether you want to increase the font size or decrease font size. The next is the alignment group, where you have to align text to the left, align center, align right, align bottom, middle, and top. Then to wrap text and to merge text. Then the numbers group, where you have to format your entries into different data types, and as well as the styles group, where you have to work on your styles, and so on and so forth. All of these commands help you achieve several purposes in Microsoft Excel. On the Insert tab, you have the Tables group, where you insert and manage your tables. You have the Illustration group, where you insert and manage your illustrations. You have the Charts group, where you insert and manage your charts. You have the Sparkline group, the Filters group, the Link, and so on and so forth. On the Page Layout, this is where you set up your page and adjust your page for printing. On the Formula tab, this is where you manage your formulas. You have access to tons of functions in the function library, where you have from statistical engineering, cube functions, information compatibility functions, and so on and so forth. Then you have the define name groups that allows you define name ranges, the formula auditing groups that help you audit formulas, then your calculation groups. On the data tab, you have your get and transform data, where you can get data from external sources and transform, your queries and connection, where you can work on the connections and edit connections, the sort and filter group, where you can sort and filter data entries, your data tools, where you can split data, adjust data, and validate data, your forecast group, where you work on what if analysis and prepare forecast sheet, then your outline group. On your review, you have the proofing, where you review your entries, your accessibility, insights, and so on. The comments group that allow you enter comments in the spreadsheet. The protect group, where you can protect your worksheet. Then on the view tab, you have the workbook view, where you can change from normal views to page break views, or page layout views, or custom views as you like to set. Then on the show group of command is important, because on the show, you can basically take out your headings, which the columns and the row labels. You can also take out the grid lines to make sure your spreadsheet looks plain, as well as take out the formula bar. So this is the formula bar where your formulas are entered. So if you take out the formula bar is gone. So by default, these are always checked. The zoom tab, where you zoom, the zoom group, where you zoom in and out with your spreadsheet. The windows group, where you can manage your windows. Most importantly, where you can freeze and unfreeze panes. You can freeze top rows, first columns, and freeze specific panes. For instance, the freeze top row allows you to have your headings and just basically scroll down so that the headings, your column headings, will not disappear while you scroll down. For instance, without the freeze top row, you see that when you scroll down, your top heading, the row 1, goes away. Then you have your switch windows to switch between different windows of the different workbooks you have open. Okay. Then the file or backstage command allows you to basically create new documents, open from existing documents, as well as save and save as, print, share, export, and so many other functions. We said earlier that the intersection between the rows and the columns make up the cell. Every cell you click on becomes an active cell. And the active cell is named by the alphabet of the column first and the number to the row. For instance, this active cell is A4, and we can see the names of our selected cells on the name box. To move within the worksheet is as simple as using your navigation keys on your keyboard, the 4 arrow keys, the down, the up, the left, and the right. And an active cell, you don't have to double click to write in a cell. To click once is good enough. You can go ahead and write. Before entering a formula in Microsoft Excel, we use the equality sign. When you enter a formula, when you enter the equality sign, you can then impute a formula. In Microsoft Excel, we have what we term references, meaning that we can address a cell by referencing that cell. Let's say we have two figures, 25 and 55, on these cells. If for any reason I want to copy 55 to the column C here, if I say equal to or equals, I can easily then come and reference this cell, which is A2, and hit enter. So what I've done is to basically connect these two cells. But I've connected this cell to this cell, but this cell is not connected to this cell. For instance, if I were to change this to 34, it becomes 34 here. But if I change this to 32, it doesn't become 32 here, because I reference is by saying equals A2, I've connected this cell to this cell. So in Microsoft Excel, we have the operators. We have two kinds of operators, the union operators and the range operators. For instance, I want to add these two rows. I could say equals sum, which is the function to add, and then say A1, comma, and A2. Using this pattern is called union. If I continue to say A3, comma, A4, comma, A5, and so on. So I am creating a union, right? So addressing the content of these cells, I basically get the total of these two values. So I reference some of these cells up to 5. So if I were to add numbers into these cells, they add up to my total. Now let's use a range this way. I could still say equals to sum, open bracket. So I will say the first cell is A1, isn't it? Then I'll use the column to serve as the toe in the range. Then the last cell is A5. See, it highlights the range now. So everything within the range, okay? I hit enter is going to give me the same sum. All right, now to saving the worksheet. You either click on the file button and then click on save. Then you select a location and then you change the name of your workbook. Then you have several options here as a save as type, because in future you'll be saving as CSV, and the CSV we'll be talking about is the comma delimited CSV, this one. So you can save your worksheet as PDF as well, and as well as all other formats as you be requested to save as. But this time, let's save as Excel workbook, we save. You can go through this method, or you hold down Control on your keyboard and then press S. That is Control+Save. To retrieve a saved document, you can load Microsoft Excel. When you load Microsoft Excel, you basically can have an output like this, and you say open. Then you check, because we just saved this, that is why we can see it here as the recently pinned workbooks. You go to the location of where you saved it, search in the document folder to basically find your file, or you can search. Our file was named practice. We have practice. You go ahead and open it. Here we have it.